I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
Conversate with Us Radio presents the Man Listen Show. We are the blackest radio show on the internet. We bring you our opinion on topics that affect the Black community in an effort to enlighten, enrich, and empower every brother and sister that falls under the sound of our voice. We operate on a no-hating frequency, so be prepared for us to keep it 100% real and 100% Black all the time. Please follow the show on Facebook, Instagram, and X at Man Listen Show. You can subscribe to the show on YouTube. Click that bell icon. Give us a thumbs up. You'll be notified about our shows when we drop. Go to the link in our bio on Instagram. You can buy our merchandise and just tell everybody about the blackest radio show on the internet, the Man Listen Show. I'm your host, Marv B. Let's bring the crew in. All right, man, just the fellas today. You know, Rika C's out. What's up, man?
Man, nothing much. How you doing?
Good, bro. Good. If I was any better, I'd be a part of the James family. So LeBron James Jr. was selected in the NBA draft. Bronny. He's Bronny James. I'm surprised they said Bronny James. They didn't say LeBron James Jr. That, to me, that would have been a little bit more dope when they announced it. When they announced it instead of saying Bronny James. But I guess that's his way of kind of distinguishing.
Yeah, creating his own identity, man.
But bro, your whole identity is from your pops, so it's not like, I mean, you know. But we'll get into it.
Yeah.
So Bronny was drafted in the second round of the NBA draft 2024 by the Los Angeles Lakers, the team his dad's been playing for the last few years. He was drafted 55 in the second round. One thing of note, players who were drafted in the second round, their contracts aren't guaranteed. Now, if you drafted in the first round, guaranteed contract. Second round, you know. But I think it's pretty safe to say Bronny's going to get a spot on the roster.
Yeah, shout out Steve Logan, though.
Steve Logan, one of my favorite basketball players ever, man. But then, you know, I read it. I was like, what happened to Steve, man? It was a lot of politics, and then he couldn't control his weight, and
yeah.
Just a lot, man. It was just a lot, dude. But what you think about it, man? What you think about Bronny going to the Lake Show?
I mean, it was kind of a given, you know, to me. I think, especially when Rich Paul started coming out saying he ain't gonna be, he don't sign him to no two-way contract. We ain't working out for these certain teams. We're only doing it for these certain teams. And so, I mean, I think the writing was on the wall, and I think part of it too, the league kind of understood, and I don't think another team would have taken him just because they want, you know, you kind of want the story, you know.
I don't know, man. I thought maybe another team might have tried to sneak in and draft him just so they could say, hey, listen, let's get Bron over here. If we get his son, we get Bron. What's the two-way contract? Two-way means he can play in the G League.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I read, I don't know how true it is, so we're gonna say allegedly, that Rich Paul was saying like, hey, if y'all draft him, he going to Australia to play.
Yeah, no, they said that during the draft coverage. Woj, you know, he always got the inside information, and Bob Myers, they were saying that's what people that they know, teams that they talked to, said Rich Paul called him and said that. So,
wow. I don't know, man. I was happy for the young brother.
Yeah, no, I was too.
It's good to see, you know, Black excellence in that way. I'm not sure what type of career he will have in the NBA, whether it be successful or not. I don't know what metric you compare it to, what determines successful or not for a player. You know, obviously he had his struggles in college. He didn't really, you know, dominate in college at all. You know, he had the health scare that a lot of us was like, man, you don't even need to play anymore, bro. You know,
right.
Your dad is a billionaire. You got a good life. You know, why are you doing this? But I think it's obvious that, you know, Bron has passed down the basketball gene to his sons. And, you know, Bronny's super athletic. I think that Bryce he got Bron's height.
Yeah, he got the size.
Or it looks like he's going to, he's trending towards, being LeBron's size. And, he might be, the one, because he's pretty talented as well. But a lot of people have been hating on him, man. I mean, people hate on LeBron anyway. People
Right,
have been hating
exactly.
on LeBron. So this is kind of an extension of that. It's like you've been hating on LeBron, now you get to hate on his son as well. And now that his son's a professional, right? It's not oh man, he's just a kid. Because before it was kind of like when he was in high school, Cass was hating on him. Dude was like, man, come on, dog, this dude's a kid. And then
Right.
USC, even though he was grown, he had the health scare or whatever, but it was still kind of like he's a young man. In the NBA, and we assume that he's gonna get a roster spot. The criticism's coming, and there's really no hiding from it.
No, you're right, but of all the sports, I mean, baseball, the hit or miss percentage on draft picks is high. Football is really the only one where you can say, if I take you in the first 3 rounds, you're supposed to come in and start immediately. Basketball teams, man, the miss rate on draft picks, first round lottery picks is high. So to me, that's why it was originally, I was like, man, he's not talented, he's not as good as these other players. But as you think about it, that's the NBA is all about that. You take a flyer on guys, man, and some of them pan out. The majority of them don't. There's guys that come in the league first round, get their little 3 or 4 year guaranteed money, and you never hear from them again.
Yeah,
there's second round picks like the Joker. He's 3-time MVP now. So it's it's hit or miss. NBA.
Joker was second round.
Yeah, Joker was second round.
Damn. Did he come to the NBA, or did they hide him in Europe for a little bit?
You know what? I think as soon as he got drafted, he came right over.
Okay.
Yeah,
man, that's an excellent point that you're making, and I think that for the Lakers, it just makes sense.
Yeah,
I think for what a lot of people don't like is the power that LeBron has, and I think that if you already don't like him, then the fact that he's able to exercise his influence over stuff, because obviously the team is in cahoots. Like what's his name, Rob Pelinka, the GM.
Yeah,
Clear he's LeBron's boy. It's clear him, LeBron, and Rich Paul are together, and LeBron is heavily influenced. But dude's been the best player in the league for years. What would make you think that he wasn't be able to influence the game in his way in terms of like what's best for him and his family?
exactly. He's really the leader of the player empowerment movement in the NBA. And so he's done things that other players have taken note of, and like, man, that was might have been shrewd, but it was a smart move, at the end of the day, these guys, you want to say in controlling your own career, your own legacy. You don't want to be like the old school players who, like Charles Barkley just went to Philadelphia and they never put any other substantial talent around him. He's just out there showing out every year and nothing. You want to be able to have input, and it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think that you shared a link with me from Woj, and it's talking about nepotism in the NBA. And nepotism is a word that's been coming up a whole bunch. And, I think nepotism always has had a negative connotation to it, but it's been the way of the world.
Man, it's not just the NBA. Exactly. You said it, the way of the world.
It's in the way of the world.
Every industry.
Every industry.
Trump.
He's the prime example of nepotism.
Yeah, exactly. That and if it's whether it's people that own businesses, they kids are, I like that show Succession on HBO. That shows it there. That was kind of a good deep dive into that kind of thing.
But I don't get it, man. If people talk about they're all about the community and the Black community, why wouldn't you want LeBron to be able to say, man, listen, I'm gonna give my son, opportunity to make his own way, make his own money. I mean, obviously he don't have to. LeBron's great grandchildren.
Right, exactly.
And I think it's pretty much, we can safely assume that LeBron has the safeguards in place where he's not getting ripped off like KG and the rest of the dudes, which really makes me sad, because if anybody knows me, KG is like my top two favorite players, him and Magic Johnson. And he was the first to have like one of those major contracts, like 125 mil.
Yeah.
And I think like he got hit, like accountant got him for most of that.
Yeah.
Which is like extremely sad. But LeBron's not gonna have that issue.
No, he won't have that issue at all. And I think the nepotism thing is because a lot of times people overestimate their own value or their own contribution. They might not even know that in your workplace you got hired or not hired, you got a promotion because you cool with such and such or whatever. It's not family nepotism, but it's still workplace nepotism. And people are still under the illusion that it's all about a meritocracy, but it's really not. There's not too many industries where it truly is a meritocracy.
No, and boy, for the SAT words with the meritocracy. But I have more of a problem with the JJ Reddick signing than Bronny. JJ Reddick, former NBA player, he played for the Clippers for a long time.
Yeah.
Who else he played for? He played for
Orlando, Philadelphia. Yeah.
Right. He had a solid NBA career, solid player. I didn't see his career lasting as long as it did coming out of Duke. He was a good player at Duke, but I didn't see him out of all those guys being the one that I think out of the Duke players. I mean, who got him, Battier, from that era that had like a substantial career?
Yeah, Boozer, Elton Brand, like those guys, because
Brand got hurt a lot too, though.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about when they played significantly. I'm gonna say JJ, Boozer, and who'd you say? Battier.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so he's been an announcer for several years with ESPN, and then recently he started this podcast with Brian. And they were just breaking down plays, and they were talking like basketball nerd stuff, breaking down is what you're going to call, and really high level basketball IQ show. I never watched it.
I didn't either.
I saw the clips of it, right? And then there was scuttlebutt that he was going to be become the new head coach, and it's like the worst kept secret. He became the head coach. Now, if you want to talk about, hey, listen, Brian exercising his influence over something that really matters. I don't know what kind of contract, a second round player, drafted 55 is going to get. But when you talk about getting somebody a coaching position who has influence over people's playing time, their careers, everything like that, to me, that's much more impactful than, hey, we go ahead and let your son, ride the team bus with us and work out with us in practice. Basically, that's what he's going to
do. He's a ball boy. You call Bronny a ball boy, man. Historically speaking, though, Bron has wanted his coach in place wherever he's gone, so for him to say that, for them to come out and say he didn't talk to JJ about he had no input on it, it rings hollow. There's no way.
That's a lie. That's
and I mean that's the thing, man. They want to control the narrative and all that, but we all know that JJ and LeBron are cool, and they have similar mindsets, I guess, when it comes to basketball, where they challenge each other on the mental aspect of the game. I don't know whichever it would be you would consider it to be, but LeBron definitely has had some influence, or even if he didn't, he had enough influence to say, I don't want him to be my coach.
And that's the main thing. If Bron says, hey, I don't want to play for it, I don't know. You think he wanted him?
That's a good question. I think
he sounded like he said the right thing. Like he was excited when they got him,
Yeah, and I think that there's probably part of him that did, and then not, and that's where the JJ thing comes in at. Darvin Ham from afar, so you see how he interacts with other players. You really don't have that personal relationship with him like that. So you say, I think I can work with him. I think I can work for him. I think we can work together. But you don't, you don't know that. So you've never done that. But he does have that experience with JJ Reddick.
What experience does he have other than the podcast?
That's what I'm saying. That's enough. Is a business relationship.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Marika Moore, and if you want to get all up in my business, you should check out my new book, Unsolicited Marriage Advice, where I provide an analysis of the best marriage advice that I've received over the past 16 years or so. So head on over to Amazon and buy it now.
I don't know. And then, there's a sister that came out and said that, during her time at Duke University or her time in life, she's only been called the N-word by one white person. And that person was, named the head coach of the Lakers. Now, I figured that she would get ignored. They wouldn't even address it. Because when it first came out, I don't even think she had like a lot of followers. She wasn't like some big journalist or whatever.
Right.
She's done some work, I think, in the LA area. And so it's not like it's a name with notoriety that was saying. So with that being said, you would figure it'd be easy to kind of just like, hey man, this is somebody talking, we're going to dismiss it. But they responded immediately because I think that I think they needed to, because you got this, you got a white coach in a league that's predominantly Black. The league that has the most Black coaches, ADOS.
Yeah.
And, Duke has a reputation. And I think they got out in front of it. Me personally, I historically I've always said I believe Black women. I believe her. I'm gonna believe her before I believe JJ. And I just think it's unfortunate that LeBron seems to be on the wrong side of the table when it comes to that.
Yeah, and you have to, when you again, you don't have a personal relationship with JJ, so you have the option, the luxury of saying I believe her over him, because that's what it is. But when you've had a relationship with someone and you've dealt with them, JJ Reddick played on a Black AAU team in Virginia. I mean, he was running with them cats. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of in the league. There's a lot of brothers that have vouched for him. So their experience might not be the same as that young lady's experience. And so for you to come out and say something isn't necessarily gonna invalidate my experience that I've had with somebody. And I think that's what it is she might be telling 100% the truth. And that might have been 23, 24, 25 years ago, whatever. In the time since then, if he's not done anything, if you had these people vouching for him, where do you draw the line and where say that was long enough ago, or that wasn't that long ago, and he hasn't done anything since? You know what I mean? I mean, that's something that you have to do personally. You have to make that judgment in your mind.
For me, it's never long enough. I mean, we did.
So you don't believe people can change?
It's never long enough.
Okay.
I'm going to stick to that standard.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you why. We did a show talking about Jerry Jones. Remember they had Jerry Jones from the school in Arkansas.
Yeah.
People still, allege that he does racist stuff, whatever. We've seen some things that he's done, especially when the whole Colin Kaepernick situation happened that was questionable, his stance on certain things. And then honestly, when we look at other communities, when it comes time to them talking about when one of us says something or does something that they feel is offensive to their community, they cut us no slack. They give us no quarter. So I'm not about to give anybody else, the same. So if you do something that offends us, I'm gonna hold the same stance that everybody else does, and hold your feet to the fire for it.
Yeah, and again, I agree that sometimes you have to do that, but if you have people that have a relationship with him, you said Jerry Jones, he continues to do stuff, but if you have someone that's one person that says something, there's not more people coming out to woodwork, and other people that are vouching for him, respected people, I can't tell you how to feel or what your response should be, but I think overall, that's where people could say, you know what, might have been a blip on the radar, and we're going to move forward.
But I think that the piece that you may be missing is that people can act a certain way when they know it's more advantageous for them to be that way. And I'll say this: I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, and I moved from the quote unquote hood at 10 years old to, I mean, no, I lived in the hood up until 10, like for real.
Yeah,
I just hate how people use, the hood.
Moving on up. Yeah.
But we didn't move up. We just moved
Yeah.
out. We moved out. So we moved to like a rural neighborhood. And I know how white folks can be when they don't have to fear retribution. I know how they could be. I remember being around, because I was an athlete, and being around certain high caliber white athletes and how they would act towards Black people who they felt that they were above, or who they felt were less than them, and how they treated them. And oftentimes, I'd say oftentimes trended towards, being, racist towards them.
Yeah.
And then you would see those same high level athletes with other Black athletes when it comes time to like training for college or for all-star games or whatever, and their demeanor and everything, that their whole approach and their posture was totally different when they were around somebody who they considered their equal, or somebody who could help advance their cause because of what they bring to the table. So with that being said, I do believe this, sister. They can have, the whole fucking NBA come out and say, JJ ain't never said nothing like that around us, or anything like that. They could have that, and I would still believe that, sister.
Right. And I'm not saying you shouldn't believe her. I'm saying, at what point does that belief turn into it where you say that happened and he's never employable again, ever? And when does that expire? And you're saying it never does. And I'm saying I don't choose to walk in that path.
I feel you. But we look at the Jews, the Jewish community.
Yeah, but don't compare it to you. But I understand what you're saying.
Hold on, wait 1 second.
No. What I'm saying is,
you saw they cut Kyrie no slack. And Kyrie didn't even say.
I'm not concerned with what other people do, bro. I'm not.
You should.
No, I shouldn't be. I shouldn't be.
Why not?
Why should I be?
Because
we talk about being a Black show impacting the Black community. I can't worry about what the Jewish community does. I can't worry about what the Asian community does.
Here's why you should. I'm going to tell you why you should. Because when it comes down to our advancement, right? When it comes down to our advancement, there's only so much of the pie that can be eaten. And in order to get more pie, you have to take it from somebody else. So the rules of engagement that the other communities have with us, it's my opinion that we can't afford to not engage them in the same way. We can't have this whole, we're going to be forgiving and all that. There's, I watched The Lord of the Rings and the second one, Fighting in the Towers, and I can't remember his name, but the dude that was leading, the prince that was leading, he said, "Hey, show them no mercy, for you shall receive none." And that's my approach, because they're not going to give it to you. If
right?
We messed up and said something anti-Semitic on this show, you know what I mean? We'd be done. They call our jobs. They would go through any lengths to try to make sure that we were punished. Correct.
But in 2060, would they then come back and say he's unemployable? He can't work again? No. That's what I'm saying. This happened.
They would, Lav. Guess what, Lav? When did the Holocaust happen?
The 40s. Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you knew, because right. So we're gonna say the 30s or 40s, right? Whenever the Holocaust happened, right? Early 1900s, early mid 1900s. Guess what? The Jewish community was still going after businesses that aided in the Nazis persecuting them. Oh, you own the trains, you sold in the trains that carried our people to the gas chambers. We want money from you too.
No,
So
I don't think
it never
again.
stops, bro.
You're talking about war crimes versus a slur. To me, that's not apples and apples.
Shit.
No, maybe it is. And again, you talk about rules of engagement. Rules of engagement, you're talking about in a war. So in a war, if we're battling for economics and all that stuff as currently constructed with the Constitution and the way the U.S., we're not going to win the war. So you can't take those same tactics.
But here's why it applies. This is why it applies. And I don't want to say that we're at war, even though I know we are at war. But I'm going to tell you how it applies. The reason why that community, I don't even want to say their name no more, because they, you never know what the algorithm would do. They've been in hot and whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like the reason why they went through such lengths to make sure that Kyrie was punished and to try to take his money away is because they have a motto. You know what that motto is? Never again.
Mm-hmm.
Never again. So any little thing. So like even if you say, hey, the Jews run Hollywood. Oh no, you can't say that. You can't say that because you're contributing to anti-Semitic thought process, whatever. Never again. So even though it came from wartime, it still persists. And shit, we come from the biggest Holocaust. Transatlantic slave trade.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we need to take the same stance that they have. That's all I'm saying.
No, Kyrie's still employed. He got hired by a second team.
But they snatched his endorsement money. Now that boy out there playing with some little moccasins on.
Anta, yeah. But that's my whole point in the JJ Reddick thing. Is this happened? He was in college 2003, 2004, 20 years ago. So he may well have said that. But to me, I'm not gonna. Hey, he's hireable to me.
Not for me. But let me ask you this. So this is big news for LA. For those of y'all who don't know, Lav is Mr. Anti-West Coast music. That's a mischaracterization.
Yeah, I know.
Lav is just not a fan of West Coast music.
Yeah, that's not my go-to. That's not my go-to.
Fan of West Coast music. I grew up bumping DJ Quick, Snoop, all of that. Did you watch the Pop Out? Did you get a chance to watch the Pop Out concert?
No.
You didn't. Damn, I wanted to talk about it.
I mean, I saw clips and stuff, but it's not about West Coast. I mean, I like Game. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a big Kendrick fan, so that's why I didn't watch that.
I'm a huge Kendrick fan.
Yeah.
My favorite rapper, and I believe if we got to separate eras, and I don't know at what time span you separate the eras. I think you can go from
like basketball, man. They overlap, and so
they do some.
Yeah.
I want to say like the golden age of hip hop, like when it starts from the 70s, and then I probably would take it to like 88, 89, 90. I would consider that like golden age because that's kind of like when Rakim and Slick all them,
Big Daddy Kane, yeah,
Big Daddy Kane, and then I said like 92, 93 maybe, like when Wu came out, Nas came out 93, 94. Then you got Jay, Big
93.
That's one era.
Pac, yeah,
Pac, and then but what I can't say is when does the whole Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick era start? I guess I could go back. It's probably early 2000, like 2006, 5.
I would say when all three, I'd probably say 9, 10, somewhere around there. I don't know. Yeah.
Probably 2010, because that's when Kendrick came out.
Yeah.
2010, 2011, that's when Kendrick came out. So with that being said, Nas is my favorite of that second generation of
Mhm.
hip hop. I think he's the GOAT of that generation. And then Kendrick is top of this one. And I think he solidified that with this whole, beef that he had with Drake and, somewhat of J. Cole. I want to talk about it because if you watch clips, you know, he did his song, They Not Like Us, it's a diss song, right?
Well, they say did it 5 times, 6
Did it
times.
5 times, right? He did it 5 times. And shout out to y'all's boy, Eureka and C's boy, Jay-Z. The first people to do that was him and Kanye when they was doing N-Words in Paris, and they was doing that like what 8, 9 times in the show.
Yeah.
I went to the show in New Orleans. I think he did it like 7 or 8 times.
I said, I think the KC show, then he did it like 3 times, I think. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
I went to the New Orleans show. They did it like 7 or 8 times, man. It cast
Yeah.
But one of the things that stood out though to me was Kendrick was able to bring a lot of the faction leaders, a lot of LA gangs onto the stage.
I did see that where they said, basically was a truce.
Well, and my thing is this: I hope that it's a truce that they're able to maintain, because I don't want to be Debbie Downer. Because I saw a lot of other people talking about like, hey, like I really ain't cool with glorifying the gangs in LA. And it was people from LA. They were just like, dude, like I remember having to leave LA because I didn't want to get, be an innocent bystander getting shot. I lost homeboys, cousins to gang violence. And the thing that stuck out to me was just like, damn, it took Drake for them to come together and say, okay, we're going to be one West and we're going to unify the gangs. You know what I mean? And, whether you like him or not, whether you respect him or not, Drake is still a black man, right? So
no one man should have all that power. He made
anger
Foreman Voltron to come after him.
Your anger towards Drake made y'all unify. I like to see when you can have anger towards, some of the people who really want to harm our community from outside, have that same unification.
Yeah, and I already said I'm not a huge Kendrick fan, really not a fan at all. Honestly, I don't listen to him like that. If they played on the radio, maybe.
Hey, now Kendrick got cuts, dog.
Yeah, I mean, no, but again, if they play, so Not Like Us, I've heard that song more than any other Kendrick song I've ever heard in my life because they play it on the radio and XM and everything, and it pops in no matter what playlist I got on Spotify, it finds in there. And Ride Wave, he's on that, Yeah, I'm on the Ride Wave.
So you listen to Ride Wave?
Oh, yeah,
sad,
man.
You sad as shit.
I like Ride Wave, man. But the whole, like you said, it was kind of it just rung hot. It was kind of disingenuous, like the way they was going, like the things he was going at Drake for, because some of the stuff he's criticizing, he's still hanging around other people that do the exact same thing and making music with people that do the exact same thing. So it's something more personal that I still don't know if we will ever get to the heart of it.
Yeah, it's personal. I mean, a lot of cats don't like Drake. I think, you and I, we got a mutual friend, frat brother, who was trying to get us involved in the whole breaking down of the, the battle raps. And I didn't care. We said on the show, I didn't. Damn. I just didn't. I didn't care.
Yeah.
But then that They Not Like Us came out. And I said, God damn, boy, he said you a colonizer, and he broke down how he linked himself to the brothers in Atlanta. First he linked himself to Wayne, and he didn't talk about this, but if you think about it, he linked himself to Wayne and New Orleans and Baby and them. And then it was the Houston cats, Jay Prince and them. Then he got with the Atlanta cats. And I think that it really Kendrick did a good job of calling out, the problem that he has with Drake. Now, I've been the first to say I like Drake's music.
Yeah.
I like Drake's music. I don't know how Drake comes back from this though.
He just makes Drake music. I mean, that's what he does. I mean, he'll make Drake music.
But lately he's been trying to be like, he's been doing the 21 Savage and the Future and all. Before him and Future fell out, he was doing all that, he gonna have to go back to the whole Degrassi, type of emo type music, I think, because there ain't no way you can act like you hard after you get took like that.
It's on wax. I don't, I mean, I don't think we ever thought Drake was hard. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe you did. I didn't. Not when you like.
I never thought Drake was hard.
That's
But
what I'm saying. Like Erika saying, when you when you putting hearts in your hair, when you getting heart parts in your hair, man, you know that you probably ain't the toughest,
yeah. But do you think the fans are done with Drake?
No. I don't. Maybe the LA fans, yeah, the LA fans. But if Drake went on tour right now, it'd be many of people still going to his shows.
Yeah, I would just like to see that that motion, that energy, that brother Kendrick. The only reason I brought that up because I tied it in because LA Lakers and then Kendrick.
Yeah, for sure.
And the
I saw LeBron was at their show, Westbrook, Harden, all
you saw how, I don't know if you saw it, but Westbrook and DeMar Rosen got on stage, right? Now, there's some LA dudes.
Yeah.
Like they for real LA dudes. Like DeMar from Compton. I think they said Westbrook grew up in rolling 60s, right? And we talked about it on the show before. LA culture is, more specifically LA gang culture, is unlike anything from any other place.
Yeah.
The politics and the potential for violence and danger, and your ability to navigate that, you really got to be from there, right? To even have a little bit of modicum of success and being able to survive. But man, they all got on stage, and you know who wanted to pop on stage?
Who?
Ron James Sr. Hey, they showed a clip of Savannah talking to him, and they said allegedly this is Savannah telling LeBron you're not going that stage. And I've always said, hey, having the right black woman on your side is the best thing to have. She did the right thing for him. It's like, dog, you a brand. You ain't no gangbanger. You from
man,
dude.
Yeah.
Russ, DeMar, this some LA dudes, and they probably affiliated. I even though Russ be wearing dresses and shit, I know Russ is affiliated.
For sure. I don't know if you remember right after Nipsey died, he came out and had a 20-20-20 triple-double. And he was like, that's for the rolling 60s.
That's what he did? I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
And you remember the one LA dude that was affiliated? He's a podcaster now, Paul Pierce.
Oh, yeah.
Paul Pierce was throwing up Pyru in the playoffs. I was like, nah, come on, man. Come on. Now he's saying Lord with KG, KG claiming Vice Lord or whatever because it's Chicago connections. But anyway. Yeah, but no, LeBron wanted to get up on stage and dance. He did. He did. He wanted to get up there and crip walk. Savannah was like, nah, son. Nah, we're not doing that.
That's funny though. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'll send you to me. Like she's sitting there looking at him like, no.
Yeah.
No, you would not go on stage. No, you would not do that. So, but anyway, man, hopefully, man, brothers in LA, man, they could take that motion and stay positive, man. Let's stop the violence. And then, obviously, congratulations to Bronny. I'm happy for that young man. I'm happy for the James family. Hope that he has more success and hope that he has, protection for his health and everything. And you old men that's hating on Bronny, man, like, you need to get a life, bro. Let that, what's he about 19?
Yeah, 19 at probably about to be 20 at some point this year.
You know what I'm saying? Leave young man alone. Now when you get a little bit older, we might be able to say something. You might be able to, what's Giannis's brother? Thanos. But when you get a little bit older, then you can start, get clips.
Hey,
but I think Bronny probably can out-hoop Thanos stuff.
I was just about to say, ain't nobody said, people always joke about Giannis' brother, but come on, man. That's that. If you talk about family ties, right, that's it right there. His brother. He got two brothers. Don't he? That was in the league.
I know he got the one that plays with him.
Yeah.
There's three of them.
Yeah, the other one was in the league. Was in the league, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where the third one plays at. I think there might even be more than three, but I know there's three for sure. But the one that was on the squad with him, Castle show clips. I'll be like, bro, like, come on, dude. Come on, man. This dude is terrible.
Yeah.
It was funny too, because like you can tell he was trying, it was
Yeah.
like, now that's nepotism.
But now, man, I'm dead serious, man. Man, we gotta catch out the father son duo, man. That might never happen. It probably never happen again in NBA history, man.
Right, but well, you're right, because nobody's had longevity like Bron.
Yeah, nobody won't have that longevity, because you got a lot of kids coming up now, but all their dads been retired. So
yeah. Well, Charlotte, OKC, Dallas.
Yeah.
We're going to LA.
Yeah.
Not going.
What up, Felix? Yeah.
Go listen to our show, where we pay respect to Kobe. You can hear the story about me and Lab getting ripped off in LA, man. But anyway, I'm about to sneeze, so I'm gonna wrap it up. Anyway, I think we talked about it enough. Make sure you go to our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or X, at Man Listen Show. Subscribe to the show on YouTube. Click the bell icon. Give us a thumbs up. I'm gonna end it before I start sneezing. Shout out to C and Erika. We love you. Peace.